The third and final process under our Bernie bot is around supporting the COVID-19 vaccine documentation. As I'm sure everyone's aware, the COVID-19 vaccine reports come through HRM, they go into the chart, but then they don't get put into that immunization section into the EMR, which can make it really difficult to run searches and identify the population of patients that are missing one or more of their vaccines. So we created this bot to be able to fix that problem by replacing the manual process where providers or admin staff were having to go in and manually type in these immunizations into the immunization section. So one more time, we'll start in the bottom left corner with our bot, and we'll connect to the EMR. We'll run a search for patients that have at least one COVID-19 HRM report within the chart, but have less than 2 COVID vaccines, and now 3 COVID vaccines documented in the immunization section. The bot will then again go one by one through these patients. It will extract the HRM information from those reports, and it will look in the immunization list that's currently there. In some cases, these vaccines may already be in the immunization list, and maybe only one is missing, or maybe everything's up to date. In that case, the bot can just send a message to say, everything looks good. In other cases where the information is missing, the bot will go in and it will use the standard interface that staff would use to enter them in, and it will fill out all that information that's included. Typically, staff don't have time to grab all the information in an HRM report, such as the site of administration, some of the comments, adverse reactions, things like that. But since the bot is able to do this seamlessly, it can grab all that information and enter it all in so that you have more complete information in there. So by the end, after the bot is able to run through all these different patients, your patient population with vaccines should be completely updated. We do offer reruns on a monthly basis to be able to update the statuses as more reports come in. And now that the historical load of vaccines of these HRM reports have come in, then patients should be much more up to date after the bot runs. So it's one thing to talk about bots, but it's another to see it in action. So now we'd like to give you a demonstration of the COVID-19 immunization automated tool. It's going to go by pretty fast, but I'll do my best to describe each step of the process that you're seeing on screen. And everything that you're seeing is all done by the bot. So the first step is to open up the VPN and using its own bot account, log into the VPN. And in this case, it's the TELUS ASP version. And then very quickly after it's done that, it will then load up the EMR, and again using its own account, and we'll log in. From there, it's going to run a search. And this is a search for patients that have at least one HRM report with COVID vaccination, but have less than 2 documented in the CPP, and actually now less than 3 documented in the CPP. In this case, it found 4 different patients, and now it will go one by one through each patient. So it loads up the first patient. This is the simplest example where there's an HRM report in the chart, but it hasn't been entered into the CPP yet. So the bot extracts that information, and then we'll put that information and add it into the immunization list in the CPP. It doesn't just get the name and the date, it gets all the other information like the site of administration, the dose, comments, and then after it's done, it will actually send a quick message to someone at the clinic, and you can figure who that sends to. So that's our first example. So now it's going to the next patient that it found. And this is similar to the last patient, except this time there's 2 vaccines that are in the chart but haven't been entered into the CPP yet. So it will look a lot like the last one, except it's going to do it twice. So it again enters all the information it found in the report. It does it very quickly. So there's the first dose there. And here's the second dose here. And also, just like last time, it will send a message to the provider or to administrative staff or somebody at the site. The bot now moves on to the third patient. And in this example, there's actually already a second dose documented, and now the first dose has come in via that historical load. And so you'll see what happens when the bot encounters this. Typically when this happens in PS Suite, it's actually going to throw an error. So there's the error there. The bot can actually handle this. So what it does is, even though it received an error, it will change the date temporarily into the future for that first dose. And this little tool right here is actually going to reverse the date back to the original date. So now it's showing as in the correct date for the first dose. The message is then sent again, and then we move on to our last patient. So in this case, the chart's actually up to date. There was one report in the chart and one report in the immunization list. And so the bot can just send a message, basically just saying that it's all up to date. And now that it's done processing all of our patients, it can disconnect from the EMR and then disconnect from the VPN. And that's it. That's a full demo of how the bot's able to identify patients with HRM reports and enter that information into the CPP as needed. Thank you.